guys. Let me give a little update. Please sit down. Okay. All right, let's see. Hi, buddy. All right, do we have a CC? Awesome, thanks, Spoonies. I'll try to keep this short. Try. Wyatt saw his dentist again this morning for a progress exam. And they were so excited to see him. I love his dentists. They are fantastic people. So last time we saw the dentist, they noticed that 2 of his teeth were right on top of each other and preventing his mouth from closing all the way. And they said, that he would need those teeth removed, or since they're baby teeth, they might fall out on their own, but that the first step to try to see if we can get his mouth to close is to take care of these teeth. Today, when they looked in his mouth, the teeth are no longer on top of each other. His whole jaw has sort of shifted, and the left side of his jaw has actually grown longer than the right side of his jaw. So it's almost a little, you can't tell from the front, but if you're looking inside his mouth, his whole jaw is sort of crooked. What it looks like is that the left side has grown normally as he gets bigger, and the right side has sort of stunted and is not growing normally. That right side is where he's had most of the problems. They noticed that last time, that's where the teeth issue was last time. And so his mouth, now that those teeth are no longer butting up against each other, his mouth actually does close further than it used to. And his tongue doesn't stick out as far as it used to. He's able to actually close his mouth and pull his tongue in more than he was previously. But there's still, when you try to close it manually, you still hit resistance and you're not able to close his mouth the entire way. So even without the teeth butting up against each other, we still have the problem where he can't close his mouth fully. So there must be something else going on. And our two options are, it's structural, so there's something wrong with the bones in his jaw that prevent it from closing, or it's neurological, so something to do with the nerves in his jaw that are not communicating with his brain somehow that allow him to move it. Now, if it was neurological, we would expect that jaw to be floppy, hanging open, where he wouldn't be able to move it to close it himself. It would just be hanging open. But it doesn't appear that his mouth, his bottom part of his mouth is just hanging. It looks like he is able to move his bottom jaw, and he's able to open and close his mouth. He's just not able to close it fully. But he still has the ability to move that bottom jaw. So that means it's probably not neurological. It's probably structural. And since he's had this problem since the minute he was born, it's likely that he experienced some kind of trauma, maybe during birth, where his jaw was fractured or injured severely, and it's now just healed improperly. So that's their running theory. Most likely scenario is this is, a trauma that has improperly healed. Now, is it fixable? Can surgery help him? We don't know. We need that CT scan in order for them to see the detailed structure of his jaw. So we still can't say whether we can do anything about it until he has that imaging done. So we just need to wait and see. We're getting very used to that. Something that was interesting was we talked about Wyatt eating, how he can definitely swallow. That was in question at his first exam with them. We confirmed that he can indeed swallow. He eats food. He can eat food on his own, wet food, but that, for his safety, we're syringe feeding him, but he's swallowing that well. And then they asked about dry food, and I told them he loves the taste of dry food. He licks it, but he's not able to get that dry food to the back of his throat in order to swallow it. And Wyatt is going to love their suggestion, because they advised us to allow Wyatt to lick the kibbles, because it encourages him to use that tongue in a motion that might work in the future. He might figure out how to get those kibbles to the back of his throat to swallow, but the more he practices and tries different methods, the more, the better chance that he might figure out how to do that. So his dentist wants us to leave the kibbles out, let him attempt to eat them or just lick them for now if he wants to. She wants us to try different size kibbles, different texture kibbles. And different modes of handling them. So, from a bowl, maybe try a plate, maybe try from my hand, to try to see if there's a way that we can successfully get him to be able to eat kibbles on his own. It would be a huge win for many reasons if we could get Wyatt to eat kibbles on his own. There would be so many benefits. So he might not be able to do this. That's definitely possible. He will continue to be syringe fed the wet food on the same schedule he's on now. We're not changing any of his feedings with me. But instead of the snugglers picking up all the bowls, we're going to have the snuggler leave the dry food and I'll be experimenting. Gma is going to PetSmart this morning to pick up various brands of kitten food so that we can try these different shapes and sizes with him, see if maybe one works over another. So I'll be trying some every time I feed him. I'll be trying some in my hand, see if he wants to take it, maybe put some on a table, and we'll also allow him to try it out when he's running around the room here. So you might see several different bowls. You might see a plate with kibbles on it, so all of that is for Wyatt. It's no harm if the pals eat other brands of dry food. It'll all be kitten food. So there's no harm in them trying different kinds. But it'll be fun to watch and see if there's any particular dry food that might work for Wyatt. All right, that's all I have. How was that for short? Any questions? I have just a couple minutes here because the snuggler's going to be here in a minute. We didn't talk about him drinking water. I have to think about that, whether I want to leave the water or not. I haven't decided yet. All right, looks like not many questions yet. His eye recheck is this afternoon. He hasn't had an eye recheck this morning. This morning was the dentist. All right, I'm gonna take off. I will save this to the channel for anyone who missed it. And Kathy will be in here very soon.